The date is June 14th of 2016, and this is a special edition of the Nick of Time News Show. Now, normally that's where I put my fun little fancy intro, and I try to get everyone to subscribe to my videos and my Twitter page, but I really just don't feel like this is one of those times. Now, everyone already knows pretty much what's transpired in the last 48 hours. And because I was trying to get different perspectives and really gain as much information as I could, I held back on posting about it on my social media pages and really talking about it at all in person or online. But I really feel like now that I've had enough time to see some different perspectives and gather the information I need, it's time to talk about everything that happened in Orlando. Now, for those who don't know, which is probably nobody, a little over 48 hours ago, a gunman whose name I will not share and whose infamy I will not contribute to walked into a gay nightclub on Latina night and opened fired, hitting 102 people. Of those 102, 49 have died and 6 are still in critical condition. Now, of course, I'm going to give you a personal commentary on this tragic event, but first, I would like to give the floor to somebody who is actually there, recounting their experiences in an interview that took place just today.
Sunday morning, early morning, we were just having a great time. We're all there, having a drink. It was shortly after 2. We're saying our goodbyes. I'm hugging everyone. It was a great night. No drama, just smiles, just laughter. And I was talking to the last girl I was talking to, and out of nowhere, we just hear a big shotgun. We stop what we're doing, and then it just keeps going. That happened, and we just grabbed each other. We started running, and unfortunately, I was shot about 3 times in my leg, so I had fallen down. I tried to get back up, but everyone started running everywhere. I got trampled over, and I shattered and broke my bones on my left leg. So by this time, I couldn't walk at all. All I could do was just lay down there while everyone was just running on top of me, trying to get to where they had to be. And all I could hear was the shotgun, one after another, and people screaming, people yelling for help. By this time, this man, he goes into the other room, and I can just hear more shotguns going on. I thought I was a little safe at this time because, it's giving everyone time to tackle him down or get him down. But unfortunately, I hear him come back, and he's shooting everyone that's already dead on the floor, making sure they're dead. I was able to peek over, and I can just see him shooting at everyone. And I can hear the shotguns closer, and I look over, and he shoots the girl next to me. And I'm just there laying down. I'm thinking, I'm next. I'm dead. So I don't know how, but by the glory of God, he shoots towards my head, but it hits my hand. And then he shoots me again, and it hits the side of my hip. I had no reaction. I was just prepared to just stay there, laying down, so he won't know that I'm alive. And he's just doing this for another 5-10 minutes. He's just shooting all over the place. By this time, he goes up to the front, and I think that's when he's battling against the cops. I just hear shotguns going all over the place. And I'm looking up, and some cops, which I wish I can remember his face or his name, because to this day, I'm grateful for him. He looks at me, he makes sure that I'm alive. And he grabs my hand, and he's like, "This is the only way that I can take you out." I'm like, "Please carry me, because I'm in pain right now." I couldn't walk or anything. So he starts to drag me out across the street to the Wendy's, and I'm grateful for him, but the floor is just covered in glass. So he's dragging me out while I'm just getting cut. My behind, my back, my legs. And I don't feel pain, but I just feel all this blood on me from myself, from my other people. And he just drops me off across the street, and I look over, and there's just bodies everywhere. We're all in pain.
Wow. Sometimes for someone that loves to talk as much as I do, I just can't find the right words. This is so sickening to listen to an account given by someone who had to play dead in a pool of blood and bodies to survive long enough to be dragged through shattered glass and saved. He may not have died, but his life will never be the same, just like everyone else at the club and the families of the victims. And as bad as that is, as horrible and horrifying as that situation is, the aftermath is starting to become just as bad. First and foremost, I keep hearing people and headlines, statuses, commentary talking about how this is an anti-American attack, not an anti-LGBTQ attack. Stop making it about gay people. Why are you doing that? He attacked Americans. Are you serious right now? Because if you are, stop. Just stop. I'm sure, just like most cities in this country, there are a lot more straight clubs in Orlando than there are gay ones. And there are other places with large populaces to use as targets. You don't get to strip away the identity of everyone who lost their lives that night in the club. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. This shooter was a reported regular of that club. He was also reported to be on various gay dating apps. If there is a better case for internalized homophobia turning into violence, I have not seen it to date. And that's why this makes me so angry. That's what's so horrible about all of this. There are so many people right now willing to jump to calling him an Islamic terrorist. Many of the Christians I know are blaming Muslims for this attack. It's so infuriating, it literally makes me want to pull my hair out. Christians have long since created this environment in the country for any time longer than Muslim jihadists and Muslim terrorists have even been in existence or even been a significant problem. First off, the whole reason that they're even in a gay club is because that's the kind of places LGBTQ folks have to go to even feel welcome or comfortable in our own skin. With all the fights against LGBTQ rights, marriage equality, and the countless anti-LGBTQ bills that are passed every single year, you cannot say that Christians are not responsible for this. They have been creating an environment that screams that queer folk are second-class citizens and been doing it for a very long time. They're equally a part of this as anybody. You can't oppress an entire group of people and then get sad when they're slaughtered. You don't get to make yourself look good by acting infuriated at this level of violence and then going back into your world and talk about quote-unquote gay agendas or making fun of things like safe spaces. If it's those actions that make living, existing, and being true to oneself dangerous for an entire group of people, and it needs to stop. I appreciated listening to an interview with Anderson Cooper today where he called out such actions to none other than Florida District Attorney, who had a very difficult time trying to explain why she is suddenly a sympathizer to issues facing our community. And here is that clip for you.
I want to ask you, I saw you the other day saying that anyone who attacks the LGBT community, our LGBT community, you said, will be gone after with the full extent of the law.
Exactly right.
I talked to a lot of gay and lesbian people here yesterday who are not fans of yours and who said that they thought you were being a hypocrite, that you for years have fought, you've basically gone after gay people, said that in court that gay people, simply by fighting for marriage equality, were trying to do harm to the people of Florida, to induce public harm, I believe was the term you used in court. Do you really think you're a champion of the gay community?
Let me tell you, when I was sworn in as Attorney General, I put my hand on the Bible and was sworn to uphold the Constitution of the state of Florida. That's not a law. That was voted into our state constitution by the voters of Florida. That's what I was defending. Mm-hmm. Had nothing to do, I've never said I don't like gay people. That's ridiculous.
But do you worry about using language accusing gay people of trying to do harm to the people of Florida when doesn't that send a message to some people who might have bad ideas in mind?
Anderson, I don't believe gay people could do harm to the state of Florida.
But you argued that in court.
My lawyer argued a case defending what the Supreme Court allowed the voters to put in our state constitution.
But you were arguing that gay marriage, if there was gay marriage, if there was same-sex marriage, that would do harm to the people of Florida, to Florida society.
That it was constitutional to put that in the Constitution.
Are you saying you did not believe it would do harm to Florida?
Of course not. Of course not. Gay people. No, I've never said that. Those words have never come out of my mouth.
But that is specifically what you were arguing in court.
You know, no.
Yeah, flustered much? I'm not always an Anderson Cooper guy, and I'm definitely not a CNN person. But this is exactly what we need to bring attention to. We cannot act like this is not an issue affecting the gay community. We cannot pretend that it was just by chance that is where the attack went down. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to create an environment where gay people are looked down upon and then try and make yourself look good when this tragedy is something that you helped breed. And that goes for Christians and Christian religious institutions as well. If we really want to feel bad for these victims, then it's time you started making some changes as people. It's time we champion LGBTQ folks as equals, as who they are, our neighbors, our family members, our coworkers, our friends. It is then, and only then, that we can move past these issues and truly be amazing as a country. And I'm not just talking about white gays either, which is what the movement tends to focus on. I'm talking about true equality for all queer folk, especially queer folks of color, who are part of one of the most vulnerable groups that exists in modern day America. As for shooting incidents as a whole, it's time we made this the last one. No more profile pic changes. No more prayer circles. No more being sad for a week and then moving on. We tried it that way before. We've tried it every other way before. It's time to go to work and make some meaningful policy changes that will make mass shootings far less possible than they are now. You shouldn't be able to, as a civilian, walk into any store or any convention that has to do with guns and be able to purchase a military weapon. There's just no excuse for it. And if it truly won't help, this is what I say to even the most passionate people when it comes to the right to own any kind of gun that you want. Let's just say that it doesn't work, that there's no decrease in violence, there's no decrease in mass shootings, it doesn't work. Then all I say is give it a try. Let's do something different for a change. Let's try and make a change that could positively impact this country, and let's test it out. And if it doesn't work, then we can revert back to the way it was. It's exactly like when everyone tried to ban alcohol from this country. You know, they thought that it wouldn't work, and in that scenario, it just happened to not work, and then they just said, well, give everyone their freedom back because it's not a big deal anyways. But the fact of the matter is when it comes to owning a military-style gun, you can't compare it to anyone else. They say, when someone gets in a DUI accident, how come you don't blame the car? Or when the terrorists hijacked the planes, how come you didn't blame the planes? You know, or the knives in your kitchen, how come we don't take those away because you can kill people? The fact of the matter is those are terrible arguments because, first off, everything that was mentioned serves a different purpose. But secondly, when you talk about 9/11 and everything that happened with that, you can see that, yes, a lot of changes were made. Changes were made to the plane. They closed off the cockpit from where the pilots are sitting so that way you can't get to them anymore. Security is way stronger than it's ever been in the entire history of this country. And the other thing is all those things actually serve a purpose in society. I need knives to cut my food for dinner. I need a car to get to work. We need planes as faster forms of transportation. The only thing a military-style gun does is shoot. The only purpose it's designed for is to kill. It's a killing machine. That's what it's for. That's why they made it. So to say that every civilian should just have open access to it is ludicrous. And it's time that we really started looking at the Second Amendment and how it was intentioned, which is for people to be able to defend themselves against tyranny. And that's fine. You can do that with the weapons that are available, like a shotgun or a handgun. But you cannot take a handgun into a club and kill 50 people. It would be next to impossible. So it's time that we started looking at facts, seeing as in the last 16 years of every major mass shooting and tragedy, which there's been hundreds, only one of them was stopped by somebody with a gun. Out of hundreds and hundreds of occurrences in a country where a lot of people own guns, more so percentage-wise than any other country that exists. So I challenge you, don't just say, I feel bad for those victims. Don't just pray about them on Sunday at church. Don't just say, maybe we do need to focus just on LGBTQ issues. Actually do all of those things, but still make a change. Otherwise, we might as well just prepare ourselves for the next time that this is going to happen, which I'm sure is going to be very, very soon if we continue to go about things the way that they are now. If you have anything to add, please feel free to message me on Facebook or tweet me at Nick of Time News. Of course, please subscribe to the video and to my channel. I do want to thank you for tuning in. As always, this has been your host, Nick Dorsey. Until next time.